Previously on Where's Asia?
Today's my last day in LA, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Where's Asia off to now?
I'm moving to Dubai. What?
Oh yeah, you'll be back one day.
Breaking news. Attack on Iran.
And injuries at the Dubai airport.
Debris fell from the missile being intercepted by the UAE defense system.
You are waiting for the US military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, and that would be a big disaster for them.
We have a lot to catch up on.
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another video. The last time we properly caught up, I was moving from Los Angeles and getting ready to move to Dubai. And child, a lot has changed. A lot has happened. I packed up my apartment, sold most of my stuff, and went to vacation in Trinidad for Carnival. And I was expecting to head to Dubai shortly after I left Trinidad. But obviously God had different plans for me because stuff changed. Like, I can't even make this stuff up. I was expecting to finally head to Dubai after I left Trinidad. However, less than 48 hours before my flight was set to take off, war broke loose between the US and the Middle East. Like, what are the odds? What are the odds that the safest city, or one of the safest cities in the world, is affected by war? And the US is included. What are the odds? My flight was canceled as a result, and fortunately my boss was kind enough to approve of me working remotely until further notice. Now that sounded like a good deal to me because I love virtual work. I've been working remotely for years. However, I was working on Dubai time, which is what, between 8 and 12 hours of a difference between them and the United States. So it got hard. It got real hard. It was a little brutal. At some point that became very, very challenging, and I tapped out. I had to tap out. I did not quit the job though. I started to think outside of the box, and I was thinking of different countries I could work remotely from while things were getting figured out in the Middle East. So I left the United States and I came to London. There was an opportunity in London for me. I got accepted into a program for actors and just in the creative space. If y'all don't know, I like to act. I've acted in plays, commercials, some film while I was in Los Angeles. And moving to London just allowed for me to get more into my creative bag. So it wasn't really much of a question for me if London was not a good fit, because it was. And my plan was just to stay in London until things cleared up in Dubai, and then I would move to Dubai and get back to how things were supposed to be. Things actually never settled down between the Middle East and the US, specifically Iran and the US, and I would be on calls with my coworkers. They would literally be hearing missiles intercepted or bombs being intercepted, and that was enough for me to say, you know what? I'm gonna keep myself over here, or I'm gonna stay where, you know, I'm not going to be directly affected. Thankfully, I had that as an option. Thankfully, things worked out like that for me because I couldn't imagine how scared I would have been in those moments, hearing those sounds happening right above me. Literally, people are looking out the windows just above them. It was that close. When I think about it, you know, back then I was so eager to just get to Dubai and just to get to work that I was like, okay, no, like, it's not as bad as we're all thinking. But the more I sat with it, the more I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not about to rush this. And even coworkers and my boss, they're like, don't rush it, don't rush it. If no one asks you about it, don't try to rush your time to come over here. I couldn't even rush it if I wanted to. The US embassy was closed. A lot of US services were closed. The United States government was saying, if you're American, do not go over to the Middle East. And I'm like, okay, you ain't gotta really tell me that many times before I listen. I'ma sit back. I'ma just keep it cool, keep it cute. I just wanted to live a very cutesy, a very calm, peaceful, soft life. And war doesn't really fit that. So unfortunately, between that happening and a couple of other political things happening within the organization, your girl got laid off again. That's the honest truth. I got laid off again. And it's honestly been another journey, because what are the odds? In one way, I can look at it as if the war never happened. I probably would have been in Dubai. I would have been working. Things would have been fine. However, on the flip side of it, and I truly believe this with every cell and fiber in my body, that it was all in God's plan for me not to end up there. Because if I would have ended up there, who's to say none of that would have happened? And if that were to happen while I was there, what would I do? I didn't know anybody going into Dubai. Dubai, I would have made friends there, but none of them were super close or rooted in the way that my community is in the US. Who is to say that after I signed my lease, I wouldn't have gotten laid off? And then next thing I know, how am I going to keep up with this 15-month contract? Like, who's to say that? I don't even know. I don't even fully still have all the words to articulate everything that I'm thinking, feeling, and just what is. But all I do know is that God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Also, another reason why I think this is just a blessing in disguise is because I got a real chance to just chill out in London and enjoy a craft that I feel like the training here is just so much different than it is in LA. I've been in different acting courses, different sessions and workshops throughout my life, and here in London the training is unreal. I've learned so much about myself, about my talent, about so much about life just from being here. And this experience alone, even though it's only been a few months, has been one I would not trade for the world. I find myself creating a lot more, just getting into my creative bag more, having the time to. And last time I got laid off, I was pretty chill at first, but at some point I went through all the emotions. And I'm not saying I'm not going through all the emotions now, but what I am saying is that there's so much creativity in motion right now that I can't just sulk or I can't just be sad. And I have a lot of hope. I have a lot of faith that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. I truly believe that God got me. He ain't never failed me once, so why will he now? I'm sure that his purpose for me is greater than what I can imagine. I'm sure that there's something greater in store for me still, even though that opportunity did not work out. At the same time, I'm still a human, so I've been intentionally just surrounding myself by positive energy, people who use words to uplift me, because it can get tough. I'm not gonna try to sit here and fake like it doesn't. It does. That's also the reason why I've really been intentional about keeping this aspect of my life quiet this time around, because this happened a couple weeks ago. I've been in London for a while and people are just now finding out. So people ask me a lot, what's next? And I'm just living life day by day, minute by minute. I'm just going with the flow, letting God do his thing and guide me in ways. I'm trying to just stay connected and see where life takes me that way. Keep striving to move through life, being a light to others and just bringing positive energy everywhere I go. Other than that, I don't really have a plan. I'm just going with the flow. And it might sound crazy to some people, but honestly, I think that's just keeping me from the edge. So we're here, we're chilling, we're happy. I feel blessed. I feel like there's a promise. I don't know, I just feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. That's it. I'm in London today. I could be in Lisbon tomorrow. I could be in Thailand next week, or I could be back in America. I don't know, only God knows at this point. I do have a lot of faith that he would get me out of this season, that there's greater in store for me, there's more coming, and I don't believe in coincidences, so we're gonna see what he has for me. If you wanna see what's in store for my journey, then hit the subscribe button, or if you just wanna share some words of positivity or support, then drop it in the comment section. Thank you for watching. I will catch you all in another video.